Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. My name is Rabenschild. We are on the Terran planet. I went here by portal. That seems to work fantastic. I needed to distract myself from certain things, problems we still have. And so I built this machine here. Some of you might remember this setup. This is the basically a ship I tested out, or I used. It's not the same ship, but it's a setup I used to test 1wxs10's vector thrust script. And he contacted me and said, hey, there's a new one I have here on GitHub. So that's why I will not provide you with a link, sorry, because I don't know if he wants to keep this under wraps for now, but I hope he at one point comes and makes this public. It works pretty nice and it works pretty easy by now. The first script he had was a bit of a hassle to set up because you had to name nacelles, you had to go and name thrusters, name rotors, set up certain things with the timer and programmable blocks. I'm not sure if you still need the control module because that's a thing that could be still true. Hope he clears that up in the future. We went a bit back and forth and talked about how to set this up because I'm not good at this, and we will have to do some more setting up in a bit. I just want to show you this base here is at the moment in complete disarray. Not because it is not working, but because I don't have power. I'm missing uranium here, and now I'm thinking to go back and forth and grab some uranium. On the other hand, at the moment I don't need uranium, so why bother with it? But I had set up batteries, but it seems something is grabbing all the power. See, there's max store power. Is there store power? See this? It's not nice. Good. But we will go back to the ship. Now it's bad. It's slowly getting dark. Yesterday when I've set that up, there was still daylight, and now we are running out of it. Cool thing about this, or one thing 1wxs10 might want to talk about whenever he updates that. What you shouldn't do is, there is something set up in the script that locks the rotors at some point. Or makes the rotors basically stop the ship as soon as you approach a certain speed. Because after that the rotors lock up. That's one of the safety features of Space Engineers basically. And let's say it that way, this script stops working when you approach from orbit, fall into an atmosphere, and then think, hey, it will automatically stop me because, hey, there's dampeners on it and all that stuff. No, it doesn't. I made a massive hole into the alien planet because I thought, hey, maybe I can test that there, fly over there, and then just drop from orbit into the atmosphere. No, that doesn't. That's not how that works. Good. We need some things prepared before. He told me, and that's one thing. That's one thing I assumed. He told me that you need to set up the timer with this, how's that called in English? Person sign, basically, and use the vector Vector Tim, maybe you should call it time. No, not that some other scripter might get angry or so, but Vector Tim, then you have the timer set up. That's one cool feature. After you have set up the timer that way, just name it Vector Tim, then set it up to run the programmable block with no arguments or something like that. It runs itself basically. So the script turns the timer on then after it ran, and that's a neat thing because you don't have to set up the timer and you don't have to set up the timer and set it up to turn itself on or something like that. And the cool thing with that, it seems to me, is that you can use different arguments on your hotbar basically. And I will have to change that. I think it's not working how I have set that up there. So you can run different arguments to let the script do things like stopping its run completely, and then maybe go into, he has set up different modes and all that stuff. It's neat. We will turn on this screen because he told me that no, don't crash now. Go down. Oh, see, this is the main problem that I have with it. Yesterday I tested it out and I ran into this, that there is dampening, but there is some things with the are we missing a thruster? Oh yes. I hate when that happens. Okay, I need to repair that. We'll be back in a second. Okay, now let us do that again. That was more work than I wanted to do. I completely crashed that thing. Oh, no. What's happening now? I'm running into these lag problems again and again. I don't know anymore. Let me work on this here. It's the thing is that I might want to try to get rid of some of the thrusters. Maybe don't use the big ones. Go for small ones. That might help. Let me test something. I have a nanite factory here that is doing stuff. Okay, clean up. And I need this, and I might just go with clean up here too, just to stop it from hopefully lagging me out here. This thing should help us out a bit more. Okay, what we need to set up is the monitor. I want to see what information it gives us, and then we remove these thrusters. I needed these to pick me up from the ground down there. No. Okay. I completely crashed it down there, and I needed to put thrusters onto to bring it up here again. And I went over to the Empress and brought back some uranium, something I didn't want to do because of the hassle. Good. I need to remove these two, and then I will try to go with the small atmospheric thrusters. These might, the big ones might be a bit too powerful for the really small thing we have here. So maybe that is enough. No, why are you? Why is it doing that? Okay, let me see if I can roll it over again. Okay, the thrusters will be turned off now. It behaves in ways I can't really say why it does that this way, please. I'm absolutely unsure why it does that. Okay. We need thrusters on all sides as per usual. And then we need to add some piston heads back. And I hope I can get this to run. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. Maybe I need some more figuring out with 1wxs10. This might help. Good. Let me put this on, and I will try to get it started up and see what it does then. Good. It is doing stuff, so you can see that we did that. Some of you might not have seen the episode, but we already did this. The cool thing again now is that there's no extra after having so many problems with it, now saying it's totally easy to set up. It is easier to set up. That's a thing, because before you had to go and again name all the name all the rotors, name all the thrusters, and now you just put them on and it finds out what you have on there. So at the moment I don't have thrusters. It tells me thrusters false, target acceleration is 1g, that can just stay that way. Dampeners true, active nacelles 6. I want to test some things out. So the script, and I will just show the beginning of it, has some things I can set up here, and I want to test that. This jetpack, dampeners, okay, and standby. I want to try to set this up. These are basically the arguments I can use on the screen down there on the hotbar. Okay, let me run and then remove this, and I want to run this with the argument standby. The last time I tested it without the percentage symbol, and I'm not sure if that's the right way to do it. So then we have jetpack, confirm, and we have dampeners. I hope that's all right. I'm always not really sure if that works out. So 6. Oh, nice. Thrusters? Ooh, okay. Now I understand how that works. That's really, really neat. So with 4, we can set it to standby and then turn it back on. Ooh, nice. That's really neat. Okay, let us test that out. I want to have the jetpack turned on. At the moment, you can see it's sometimes pretty wonky. He has told me that he wants to make some more additions when it comes to how it behaves. So he talked about torque and all that stuff, and I'm not sure if I really understand what he means by that. I think this torque thing is the whole thing is spinning like crazy. Let me turn off the dampeners and turn off. No, the thrusters turned off. I have 6 gyroscopes on here, and 6 gyroscopes just might just be too much for it. And one thing I think you still have to really take a look on is where is the center of mass. We will go and control that right now. Maybe 2 gyroscopes are enough. This is a pretty light structure with 6 gyroscopes. It's just yanking on it, and then maybe that is my problem. Let me also take a look at. Ooh, is that new? Large grid remove. Am I in? I yesterday used the Space Master and used the creative mode, but that's new. So okay, we have it pretty much in the middle. That's a good thing. I have, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's pretty much in the middle. So this is the middle block. I have 10 blocks on each side, and I hope that's enough. 1wxs10. If you say that's not enough, then let me know. Then I can maybe do something about this. So, okay, let us test if removing the gyroscopes helped with anything. Thrusters back on. It's smoother because now it doesn't yank so crazy on the thing, but it still turns a bit. So if you see that, it just turns to the right and now to the left. Maybe that's what he meant by torque, so that it controls how you are leaning. You can still speed up pretty nice. That's really neat. That's really, really neat. Going down works just by sheer gravity. One thing I didn't understand and I don't know is, do you still need the control module? There's another mod that you had to install for the old thing, and you had to set up. That was the control module by Diggy, I think. And I have it installed, but I didn't set it up. And it still works. So maybe you don't need that anymore. If 1wxs10 sees this, maybe he can answer the question here. And then if you want to know anything about that, ask questions in the comments. That might help. And if he doesn't see it, I might be able to get in contact with him, and then we can figure stuff out, like when do you plan to go online with it? Because again, It's still wonky, but it is easier to set up than it was before. You saw me just put on thrusters and now it works. I just had too big of thrusters on here and too many gyroscopes. So it was mainly my fault. Don't let 1wxs10 know. I hope that he sees this video. So yeah. Okay. I want to take it out a bit more. One thing that would be neat is if we could do something about this monitor. We could put it to the right or to the left. Maybe that's an answer I can ask, is if there's a way. Should we come on, let us answer the question for ourselves. If we can set up maybe a small monitor with that. We have the LCDs, and maybe can we have corner LCDs on the... We can have corner LCDs on here. So maybe if we set this up, maybe then that works too. One thing I really like about this is the use of percentage symbols and not the use of the square brackets, because square brackets don't work for me. It's not nice to work with square brackets. Every scripter that hears that, it would be nice if you would not use square brackets. Okay, this doesn't show up. That's too bad. It would have been nice if this would have showed up on the small screen. Yes, vector LCD, that's right. Show text on screen. Can we go with a smaller font size maybe? No. That would be a neat thing if for some reason you could integrate the small screens. That would be cool, because then, yeah, then it's easier to work with. Ooh, with the whole thing. Maybe having two on here is still too much. We will test that in a second, and go and just use one gyroscope somewhere in the middle, close to the center of mass, so that we can... it flies neat, and I really like how it flies. To see the rotors moving, that could also be the problem. The rotors moving, they as far as I know, they put strain on the whole system too. So maybe that's one thing that happens here, that the whole thing has a bit of an unpredictable move pattern because of the rotors that might move it too. Okay, let us remove this again and then go and get rid of this gyroscope. Put a gyro on here and see how that works. The thing is that putting less gyros on it will not help to counteract against the rotors, but on the other hand, it might be that don't know, there's something in the script that just already does that. It's again, I'm just testing it kind of out of the blue, just, hey, I like this script, let's give it a shot. It's good that it is not so janky with all the with all the gyros. It, when you press the roll button, for example, it immediately rolls 90 degrees, and then when you counteract something, you sometimes overdo it. Maybe that's maybe. Hey, come on, turn around. That was a problem. I couldn't roll to the right. I had basically to roll through to the left to counteract. That's maybe the rotor torque working against the torque of the gyroscope. I'm not sure, but that's maybe what's happening here. But it seems to work pretty well. Maybe heavier ships work better with it, because the torque isn't acting so crazy on heavier ships, maybe, so the rotors can turn, and the ship is not thrown out of alignment too crazy. So making maybe atmospheric freighters with this, or see, now again, it's not. I don't know why it torques to the left when I'm going down. But knowing now what there's on screen makes my life a bit easier to see that the dampeners are not on, and the thrusters are not on, and all that stuff. That's a good thing. And that's all you need for it. Pretty neat thing. 1wxs10. Thanks for letting me take a look at this. That's really, it's, when it comes to setting it up, it's much better than the first one. Flying it, still a bit problematic. But again, I think heavier ships will react a lot better to this. It's what I feel. Maybe someone has made some observations with that. Hope that is the case. Good. People, I would say this is all for today. I wanted to do something different today, because having all the building with guns and still having problems with them and all that stuff gets sometimes also a bit boring for me. So that's why I kept this for Friday. Doing this is pretty neat. I will maybe test that out if I can make this ship heavier, maybe a bit more bulky, and hopefully then it behaves a bit better. That would be neat. In the future, we will see how much time we still have to basically waste until we can go into a new world, and until everything in Space Engineers works as intended again. Let's say it that way. Good, people. Thanks for watching. Hope you liked it. If you have questions for 1wxs10 or comments for me, then let me know. Yeah, I hope to see you in the next episode. See ya.